The top stories for the hour: experts called for a collective responsibility for the protection of international human rights. And Ethiopia applauds China's key role in global mediation efforts. Greetings and welcome to EBC World, the Voice of Pan-Africanism. I'm Hikma Tamam with the news for the hour. Do stay with us. Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs Minister Taye Asqassalasie appreciated the strong relations that Ethiopia enjoys with the United States of America and noted the importance of having continued discussions on issues of shared interest. Foreign Minister Taye and Catherine Molefe, Assistant Secretary for African Affairs of U.S. State Department, met in New York on the margins of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly to discuss issues of common concern. The minister briefed the Assistant Secretary on the situation in the Horn of Africa, with a particular emphasis on Ethiopia's position to work on sustainable peace and security in the region. On Somalia, the minister highlighted Ethiopia's continued efforts in fighting terrorism and stressed that there should be a careful and comprehensive consideration before any post-ATMIS arrangement is decided. On her part, Catherine Molefe reaffirmed the United States' continued commitment to work with Ethiopia in fighting terrorism and maintain peace and security in the region, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ethiopian ambassador to Russia, Gennet Tashome, held a meeting with Belarusian ambassador to Russia, Alexander Rogoznik. The two discussed cooperation between Ethiopia and Belarus in the political, trade, economic and humanitarian areas, touched upon the organization of visits at various levels, as well as the interaction between the two countries within international organizations and associations. Ambassador Gennet emphasized Ethiopia's interest in Belarusian best practices in agriculture, agricultural, mechanical engineering, pharmaceuticals, and information technology. He said that the products of Minsk tractor plant are widely known in Ethiopia. The ambassadors have indicated mutual interest in exploring the prospects of cooperation in tourism. Ambassador Alexander invited the Ethiopian tourism industry to take part in tourism exhibitions in Belarus.
Among Africa's 54 countries, one nation stands alone. Welcome to Ethiopia. When it comes to history, Ethiopia has a story to tell.
Oh, so you took that's behind it also, no?
Yes, boss.
Good morning from the largest lake in Ethiopia. I am in Bahida, which is very north of the country.
It is the oldest civilized region in Africa, with more than 25 centuries of documented history. The Mercato is the biggest market in Africa.
So welcome to Mercato Market. This is the largest open-air market on the African continent.
That is delicious.
Say hello to our ancient ancestors.
Thank you.
This is pretty.
Hi, how are you guys? You don't mind on the video? It's all good?
Yeah.
Is the celebration this way? Is
Yeah,
it like a parade?
Hey guys, Bishoftu Memorial Park, guys. So this is beautiful place. We just
One of the responsibilities of men here is to protect the tribe.
We feed each other.
You want some egg? So he's the chief of 650 people.
Yeah.
There are the Dorze, a highland tribe who receives clothing,
Up now.
where men jump over cattle to
Oh my gosh. I'm short. Do short people do this?
Welcome to Bowling International Airport.
Welcome back from a short spot. Moving on to other news, experts called for a collective responsibility for the protection of international human rights. Approached by ABC, Bruce Mokaya, head of the ICRC delegation to the African Union, said lots of efforts in the country and AU level are being made to ensure the principles of international humanitarian laws that are implemented. Bruce also underlined the need for Africa to fall back on its traditional mechanisms for conflict resolution. Johannes Fenton reports.
The Palais des Nations, where the League of Nations wrestled with international problems many years ago now, is the handsome setting for the Geneva Conference.
Since the enactment of the Geneva Convention in 1949, the protection of international humanitarian law is a big concern for our world. Conflicts erupting in all corners of the globe are worsening the humanitarian situation, and women at risk for the principles and norms of international law. Africa is one part of the world in which these humanitarian laws are under siege. For Bruce Mokaya, head of the ICRC delegation to the African Union, there are efforts in Africa to create awareness on international humanitarian law.
What we see in the continent is that there is clearly a lot of efforts which are made at the country level, but also at the African Union level to ensure that these principles of international humanitarian law are well known, they are taught to the military, to the security forces, and that whenever we have a crisis that these principles are implemented.
Saying both state and non-state actors are obliged to the principles of international humanitarian law, Bruce underscored the collective responsibility needed for the protection of humanity.
It is necessary to reach out to all the actors to make sure that we can improve the protective environment for those that are affected. So, yes, I think there is a role for everyone to play. You know, the protection of our common heritage, the protection of our humanity is a collective responsibility. It is upon everyone to not only speak up on what they see, but also to take steps to make sure that we can take remedial action to avoid, the impact of a conflict. So it's a responsibility that everyone bears.
To ensure the protection of international humanitarian law, Bruce believes Africa should fall back to its traditional mechanisms of conflict resolution.
Africa has a long history of sitting down under a tree to resolve the conflicts. It reminds me of the Tana Forum, which is structured around this principle or this concept of African tradition of sitting down under a tree to try to resolve a conflict. So I think what is important is for Africa to fall back on its traditional mechanisms for conflict resolution. A lot of these existed to look on, our wise men and wise women who are there to start with at the community level to ensure that not only we can prevent it because we need to act before something happens, but when it happens that we can fall back on the experience that Africa has had in conflict resolution.
Ethiopia commends China's commitment in creating a harmonious world, highlighting its key contributions to the international mediation efforts. The Chinese Foreign Minister Ma Jinmin highlights Ethiopia's steadfast support for China's initiative to establish the International Organization for Mediation from the onset. Goshu Melliso presents more from Ethiopian News Agency.
China and Ethiopia have strengthened their relationship, making significant strides across various sectors. This partnership has flourished in the areas of trade, infrastructure, and many more development activities. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia and China jointly briefed the media on the event of International Organization for Mediation, which is believed to be the world's first intergovernmental legal organization dedicated to the settlement of international disputes through mediation. Speaking on the occasion, Nugus Kabede, Director General for Middle Eastern, Asian and Pacific Countries Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, praised China's significant role in international mediation efforts.
I wanted to take this moment to commend the People's Republic of China for its unwavering commitment to facilitating the negotiations on the draft convention for IOMED. These efforts are not just about diplomacy, but are crucial steps towards building a more peaceful, cooperative, and harmonious world order.
Ma Jimin, Director General of the Chinese Foreign Ministry Treaty and Law Department, noted that Ethiopia has strongly supported the initiative, actively contributing to its development.
Ethiopia has been a staunch supporter of China's initiative to establish the IOMED from outset, playing an active and constructive role in its creation and ongoing development. The initiative for briefing came from our Ethiopia colleagues, and for that, we are sincerely appreciative.
Rata Alamo, Director General for International Legal Affairs of Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs Ministry, stated that there are mediation platforms at multilateral, regional, and bilateral levels.
The inception of this organization is based on the concept that was developed by the government of the People's Republic of China, and this is a new organization intended to focus only on mediation. There are different mediation platforms at various levels, be it at the multilateral level, at the regional level, at bilateral level. Yet there has never been a single organization dedicated to international mediation.
In response to rising demand for mediation and gaps in international mechanisms, China proposed the establishment of the IOMED in 2022, he noted.
Ethiopia has been a staunch supporter of China's initiative to establish the IOMED from outset, playing an active and constructive role in its creation and ongoing development. The initiative for briefing came from our Ethiopia colleagues, and for that, we are sincerely appreciative.
Hence, being the member of the IOMED shows a country's emphasis on peace and mutual beneficial cooperation and recognition of mediation and its significance.
Looking into the final news, the Italian ambassador to Ethiopia, Agostino Palesi, says Ethiopian Airlines has been playing a irrepressible role in connecting people to people and economic cooperation with the entire continent of Africa. Ethiopian Airlines celebrated 6 decades of uninterrupted flying service between Ethiopia and Italy. Shaggai Matao presents more.
Ethiopian Airlines commenced its flight to Italy 60 years ago and has achieved remarkable success in forging economic and cultural ties between the people of Ethiopia and Italy. On the occasion of observing the 6 decades-old flight between the two countries, the Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines Group, Mesfin Tasso, indicated that the daily flight services of Ethiopian to Rome and Milan has given an option to its valued customer in the region to seamlessly connect to 64 plus and more than 139 destinations of Ethiopia and in Africa and worldwide respectively. The CEO also said that Italy is one of the earliest and biggest markets of Ethiopia, which grows to become a crucial spot in Europe with second service points to Milan.
We have contributed our share to the development of the relationship of the two countries and the people of the two countries. As you know, Ethiopian Airlines today is the leading airline in Africa. It's not only the leading, the largest, serving 40 countries and connecting people, African people, to the rest of the world. We fly to 139 cities around the world.
Italian ambassador to Ethiopia, Agostino Palesi, for his part underscored that the contribution of Ethiopian Airlines over the past 60 years was immense, adding it has played a irreplaceable role in connecting people to people and economic cooperation not only with Ethiopia but also with the entire continent of Africa.
This is the 60th anniversary of the starting relation between Ethiopian Airlines and Italy. It was the first flight 6 years ago. So we are very happy. Ethiopian Airlines are increasing their flight for Italy and for Milan, start starting from December, we will have more than 14 flights per week, and we are collaborating even like hub for the American, flight.
Ethiopian Airlines has earned numerous accolades over the years, including the best airline in Africa for 7 consecutive years and prestigious Skytrax World Airline Awards, which is a testament to unwavering commitment to providing the highest standards of service and innovation in aviation, the Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines Group noted.
And now, before I go, a recap of the top stories once again. Experts called for a collective responsibility for the protection of international human rights.